Welcome, Andy. Welcome, anyone else from the future who will be watching this. I don't hear a lot of my voice, but I hope it's loud enough in the stream. And this is my cookbook session with the Arturia MiniBrute 2S. And yeah, the cookbook is here. And I don't know if there's anything that you can actually eat inside. I hope to make something for the hungry people here. So we got the recipes, and the book contains like one color, which is red. Sounds okay? Okay, no double voices and whatnot. This cookbook contains recipes for, this machine and many other modular stuff doesn't have presets, but they give you some starting points to achieve certain sounds. And there will be also patch points where to connect cables to create these sounds. And because the book is basically in black and red, I decided to create the whole stream in black and red, which goes with the theme of the noir edition of the MiniBrute, where the normal edition had blue text to explain what the normal connections in the machine are. This noir edition has red text, and you do need quite some good light to read actually the surface of the machine, which is also true for the Taiga, which hangs here. Without, I would not be able to operate this in a dark club, nor will I ever be in a dark club, but that's besides the point. So yeah, the idea is to just follow some, the book says there are 3 chefs. Let me see. Copyright of the book is actually 2017. We're talking like old machinery here. So this is also a nice confirmation that old is fine, and it's modular. I mean, an analog VCO. Okay, you can design new ones and you can create variations, but in itself, this kind of machinery is pretty old school. And the MiniBrute 2S, I think, was introduced in 2017 when the cookbook was released, and I bought it new just a week ago. So it's a long going product. Welcome, Dr. Cynthia. So we're okay. So this is the MiniBrute 2 and MiniBrute 2S cookbook. The MiniBrute 2 is the version with keys. Also a very interesting option, I believe. But its sequencer is less powerful. And I thought if I get the 2S with a more powerful sequencer, I might save a buck or two on a modular sequencer. There will be someday a sequencer, at least one, inside the case, in the rack. But this gives me a very good starting sequencer. And besides that, I will also make the connection to a DAW or to vis-a-vis rack, which in itself can provide sequencers. So I think I will have enough sequencer options for now. So yeah, cookbook. It says that it said that there are 3 chefs and I don't know, 20 recipes or whatnot. So let's try a few, shall we? The intro sequence you heard is one of the provided sequences that come in the banks of this machine. Yep. So I found this one cool. Oh, I loaded an empty one. That was not a great idea. Okay, this is not good. Load. Yeah, bank A, and for example. I could work at a slower tempo. And I'll be dialing it back inside of Ableton Live, which serves as my effect processor and my okay, so Ableton Live serves as the clock source. And wait, what did happen? Oh, the camera will sometimes probably just disconnect like we had on the previous stream. I am in the process of finding a better solution, but please bear with me. Yeah, it's now probably going to say that we're running out of, I don't know. I'm going to check the camera. Sorry for that. Looks like the camera is dying on me. Okay, that's an issue. I will try to fix it while... Yeah, I know, Andy. I'll try to fix it while being live. And if it doesn't work in a few minutes... You see, I can do the cookbooking without having a camera on top of the MiniBrute. But what's the fun of that? I could show my own face, but nobody's looking for the chef. We want to have the food processing. can, of course, start a sequence to give you in at least a sign of life. So that it's clear that there's actually a running stream here. I took all the precautions, I tested. And then still we have this issue. I'm very sorry. Well, let's just go with what it does now. And if it becomes really horrible, then I will, then I will postpone this stream until I have a suitable solution for a camera. Well, I am, Cynthia, sorry, I am a bit worried because something in the setup is breaking and I have to figure out which part it is. Also, I cannot project this full screen, so you have the black borders. It's a limitation. I could fix it in OBS by zooming in on the image, but this is a limitation of my Canon camera, which with different firmware from Magic Lantern installed, it can do a clean HDMI output, but it cannot. It will not do that in a full resolution. So we have to work with this for now. I think it looks kind of artsy in a way, so it will work until I find a better solution. Okay? Of course, I just want to play around with sequences, with connections to the Taiga, with VCV-Rec, with the DAW. You still have to set a camera up. Well, the thing is, I've been streaming on Twitch for 5 years and I had cameras working and everything. But I can't find a good solution now that I'm back on YouTube yet. So, I'll stop this. Also, there is a little cheating. I do run an effect, or two effects in Ableton Live, where the sound of the MiniBrute is going. And those are a delay and a reverb, like, well, so classic on many synth tunes. So the sound that you hear is not, like you can hear. This is close to a C. I will tune it a bit more. The second oscillator as well. It's close enough. So you hear. The buttons are a bit, I don't know. They are not super. Oh, that's not a. That's a octave button. Oh, it's set to scale, I think. Yeah. I don't think I ever really mess around with sound design on any synth, also in software, without having some kind of effect running. I will almost never design a sound for a dry use anyway, so I might as well. I don't know what scale I'm currently on. And also, I don't know how to set it, but I don't want anything of that. I just want I just want to have whatever. We'll look at the cookbook and we'll see. So, let's see if I can have the camera closer to me without blocking the view of the machine. So, the first recipe is not a preset. This is just the machine in all its standard settings. So, well, not fully actually. They do have the LFO set to something and whatever. But, sorry. This is just an example. So the default setting, we will never do that. We're going to make a metal base. I don't know if I will go to the recipes and then run a sequence per sound that we create or find another method. We'll see about that. Do we need more light? Looks artsy in black, white, and red. Yeah, it's not bad. So we are going to make a metal bass made to be a bass patch, but works well as a plugged lead too. Turn up the sawtooth in the mixer to beef up the sound. So it's basically going to be a triangle wave. We will not use oscillator 2. And okay. And there's already, I think, there is already something in place here. Which means that it wants me to patch the velocity that comes in from MIDI. It wants to patch me that to the pressure mod inside the machine. And I think I'm fine with that, but for a first recipe, I don't know. Is this actually the correct? Yeah. Or should I make this one first? A simple saw. I think this should be the second patch or the first actual recipe. So bear with me, guys. We go for 21 minutes and 21 seconds now, and there's nothing really cool going on. But hey, I'm trying. Can it stand here? Not really. It can stand on its own to make it more visible to me, but or it doesn't. Or it doesn't. You see, I'm not a very good chef. And if I start looking over there, I cannot talk in a microphone. So this is not so well prepared as I hoped for. Okay, I'm going to... the C is still a C. The LFO is set to triangle wave with a certain rate and a free running sync. So it will be not coupled to the tempo that I have set in Ableton Live and is copied here. Usually I will have tempo synced LFOs for the faster moving parts, and I would have free running LFOs for the slow change of parameters over time. But I'll follow the cookbook. Setting the LFO to free, this one too, and a little bit of the rate is something, but it's free running, so the lights will be red on the stream as well, because most of the lights are red and the text on the machine is red as well. So I thought it would be a nice theme, but you can't see the pitch knob. You see it lighted up, but it's yellow for me, and if I play, this will blink green for me, but it doesn't matter. So, we'll use no glides, no pulses, no metallizer, nothing at all. Turn down the saw. Oh no, we turn up the saw because we're going to create a saw wave. So, yeah, makes sense. We will not use the oscillator 2. There will be, for the filter, I will cut off the high frequencies by turning this knob counterclockwise. There will be some frequency modulation on the cutoff frequency and that is by default coupled to the ADSR envelope. And they want me to set a little bit of decay and a little bit of release on that. We'll see how it sounds. The AD envelope is by default used for the VCA well, I don't mind. And so we'll set these, but also, and now that cable will come into play, they want me to set the attenuator knob to a decent high value. And the default, hey, Crazy Wabbit, welcome to the show. So no brute factor, volume is set to my liking. So because attenuator 1 is by default set to the pressure, that's fun, but I have no pressure source right now. Yeah, I could have a pressure source. So this is what we have so far. I'm going to patch the keyboard from MIDI. And I don't know if the MIDI keyboard is also fed by the keyboard of the machine itself. But anyway, the output of the MIDI keyboard is going into the input of the attenuator. So pressure is no longer... or should I get pressure out to a... No, so... Ah. So, this is a simple saw wave. So, as I said, the ADSR envelope by default controls the filter frequency. So, if I turn this all the way clockwise, there will be no cut-off frequency, so to speak. You will hear the high, sharp. And I can turn this down. So you hear that the very high frequencies are being removed. But this ADSR envelope, we can make sure that by setting the decay longer, you will hear a difference. So the time between where you hear the high end and where it starts to disappear is now longer. Here it was very short. Only the attack transient had that pew, pew, and then it becomes... But if I do this... So this decay is controlling this frequency in a certain amount of control. I can set the amount of control with the FM knob here. So I can make it less obvious. I can make it minus. So now the decay is basically, it is like the decay, but knob is here below here. Now the sound starts with a very cut-off frequency, so you hear basically nothing. And during this decay time, it is like someone turns this knob from very low to higher during this decay time. And if we do it the other way, it's like someone turns this knob from very high value to a lower. Okay, let's run the actual sequence and see if we can, by using the knobs that are important in this particular patch, the red ones, see if we can make something interesting during a sequence. So what's interesting is that we have two factors that now. Oh, Karel, just come to say hi for a little break. Busy day, but man, you got an analog one. Yes, that I suppose that would be fun. Thank you, Karel Kots, for joining. I don't like I don't like the second part of your name, so I will just say Karel. I am hyped too. So there are two interesting things going on. First, we have this envelope, which means it will immediately. Can I run it again? So this envelope works together with this knob. This knob decides how much of this envelope is actually going to influence the cutoff frequency. I can turn it lower. So now whatever I do here has no influence on the cutoff frequency. You just hear the muted sound. But by turning it clockwise, it gets a bigger and bigger influence on our sound. So if I change these now, it's almost like a fast playing trumpet. That's one factor, but the other one is if I turn off this influence, this does nothing. We also patch the cable from the keyboard to the input of this attenuator, and this attenuator mentions on the machine, it also goes to the cutoff frequency. So the keyboard means what note is being played in the sequence. This basically means that you have an influence on that frequency. The higher note you play, the further the filter will open. I'll let you. So if I stop this now and I play a low C, okay, that difference is not enough. Going a few octaves lower. This is oh, and the sequence you're hearing, Karel, is just one of the sequences that came with the machine. I didn't make this one myself. I could, and I made one myself, but it sounds a little childish compared to this one. So you hear on a very low note, this cutoff frequency stays closed. It's not that you hear a spike of higher frequencies and then dropping down to lower. No. So the lower note you play on the keyboard, the less this attenuator will change this cutoff frequency because I patched this in. The keyboard, so the note value you play, is now influencing what this will do. So if I play it an octave higher, another octave higher, it's not very clear. Dad tells his son about the magic of synths kind of situation. Very different than the Roland ones. Oh, I do like the Roland sounds. I have no Roland kit anymore. Anyway, so just with this and some fiddling about, okay, this is way beyond what they told me to do in the cookbook. My chef told me, okay, so you're a beginner cook. This is a recipe for you to make a simple saw. And what am I doing? Okay, bye, Karel. It does tell me that I should add or could add a bit of square wave. And that's the beauty of the MiniBrute. This is a saw wave, a square wave, a triangle wave, and noise. And then there is the second oscillator, which we don't use right now, and an external. So I could even get some sound out of the taiga and patch that in as well, and it will start playing together with everything else. It tells me that the saw is okay, that's this. And to make it a little bit more interesting, you may add a bit of square wave. But I'm a big guy. I paid this with my own money, so I can do whatever I like. So that's about this for this stream. We'll do another recipe tomorrow. No, just kidding. We're just getting started, and I get easily distracted by possibilities. You will have noticed already. Okay. These are the cables that came with the MiniBrute 2S. And they even have their own Arturia logo on them, and they are braided cables. So they look nice. And short cables are handy if you stay inside the box. It could also be handy for plugging half of the taiga, but for the other one, I have the longer cables. Webbit, I'm trying to just be more like you. I mean, take the recipe as a guideline and then just have fun with however you want to, because it's my time, it's my money, it's my hobby. Okay, let's move on. This was a simple saw. Let's go to the second recipe, and I'm not sure if it's still the metal base already, or is it the duo base? There was a sequence to this. Oh, there's a cheat sheet in the back. Nice. The simple saw. Okay, we did this and a bit more. So let me unplug this cable. We're going to make the metal base. Okay, metal base. There is a metallizer on the brute. This is a metallizer knob. And the metallizer has a triangle above it. And this means that it works best or only on the triangle saw wave. They kind of fit together. You have the same for sine wave. There is this ultra saw amount, which has a sine wave above it. And there is the square wave, which works well, of course, with the pulse widths and the pulse width modulation, which are meant to be used together. But I mean, you can do whatever, but I will follow the cookbook for now. So we turn up the triangle, which has a somewhat softer sound. I think I will remove this. Do they still want me to have the cable in? Oh no, they want me to do something different now. Okay. This is good, this is good. Low pass filter. No, oh, the cutoff is fully closed. So we hear almost nothing. That's interesting. But we will still have the ADSR, which is here, control opening of this cutoff. So, okay, that's really... So you will hear a bit, like the plucky. But it will only be open for the short time that this decay is working. Okay, next thing we know, we rewrite popcorn. The cookbook is a guide to get familiar with the 2S. Yeah, so it is not only, I mean, it's nice to get to certain sounds, but it will also teach me and then you some of its possibilities so that I don't have to guess everything. But I don't mind guessing a lot, and I also like to learn hard things. So it doesn't have to be easy for me or something. I have so much time, I need to spend time learning or else I will get bored. So, and it wants us to patch the velocity of the MIDI. And the velocity is how hard is a key pressed, like softly or... And that will influence the attenuator, which is here. So if this knob is fully counterclockwise at 0, then it doesn't matter how hard I press a key or how hard I hit a key from incoming MIDI. It will not change the cutoff frequency. But if I open this up by playing a key harder, I should be able to change how it sounds. I'm going an octave lower because this is supposed to be a bass sound. Yeah, the keys are... I should probably connect my push and be able to play with more velocity changes. There might be a velocity inside of this. So they're calling this a metal bass. I think I can transpose while playing sequences. works. Oh, camera stopped again. Sorry. It's really starting to bother me, but I will not let it get to me today. So I thought that if you use the triangle and set a recipe page for a metal base, I thought they would introduce the metalizer. Because I mean, this is metal. Not the kind of metal that you grow up with. So that's pretty cool. This is without metalizer. This is almost like plucking a steel string. Popcorn. Here you can see that I loaded a new sequence that is 32 steps long. You can sequence up to 64 steps for a sequence, and you can have 64 patterns or sequences in here, and you can chain them, so you can basically cue sequences to play after another. But I didn't introduce the metalizer knob yet, so I should probably not touch it. Adding a bit of sine wave, saw wave. This is not unlike a Jean-Michel Jarre song, I remember. So I secretly turn the metalizer knob. Add an oscillator. A cooking show. Hey Klaus, hey Maltas. So that was sound number 2. It was the metal bass, and yeah, it works. So is this kind of a format? Het ziet er wel goed uit, ja. Het ziet er erg goed uit. Dat is zeker waar. Is this the kind of format that you enjoy, or is this too boring? Or I try to spice it up a bit because I'm not going to go through pages of recipes without having effects and sequences running. I'm not here to just press one key and then hear one note or do like... That's not my thing. Not bored, do you? No. This will take far too long again. Anyways, we got a recipe for the long dark. Oh gosh. tune oscillator 2 so that it plays 1 octave above oscillator 1. Okay, so here is what I'll do. I have one MIDI clip to play in Ableton Live, and it will play a C4, not the explosive type. So we should hear. This is easier for me to tune to. So now I can see in... Bye, Cynthia, and thank you very much. Bye, tot ziens, later. I have big hands, so my wife tells me. Well, it's tuned to C plus 0.5 cents. I think that could be called in tune. But I have to tune the oscillator to 1 octave above it. And it's now exactly the same octave. So let's go down. PG13 down the drain. Do you hear my excitement growing? Yeah, it's my excitement, nothing else, Maltas. We can do it faster. So now we have... This is probably how they made the initial police car sound in the Netherlands. Okay, so I did what they wanted me to do. So, yeah, there's no tuner inside any of this. Andy, Synchrotron, is there a tuning function inside of this thing? Can I see on the display what can I input audio and see what tuning it is? What note I'm on? Okay. I have to play a few notes here and there, preferably in a pentatonic scale. Let it breathe. Sounds great with a long reverb. Okay, so here they got me. This is, I mean, we got it. There is. Okay, thank you. Nice. I tune it in Ableton Live now, or in Bitwig or Reaper, whatever. But yeah, I think it would be handy to have a tuner in the rack. But it will take up HP and power again. That's the problem. Okay, we'll see about that. So what they want me to do is I have them tuned to only in the door. Yeah, I thought so. It's it seems like a waste of money to have modules that can easily be handled by the DAW. But then on the other hand, the DAW can almost handle anything except buttons. Oh, by the way, I'm a bit bummed out that you cannot bind these controllers. Only the knobs can be used for sending MIDI, but all the other knobs and sliders cannot be bound to MIDI CC. I don't know how much more expensive this machine would have been if they would have included it, because it's a pretty cool control surface. Luke, welcome. Everyone, Father Luke is in the house. Oh, I can, yeah, if you put it on the big screen in the waiting room at the dentist, I can entertain some more people if you like to. Let me entertain you. So, Luke, we're looking at the long dark recipe for Luke needs some new teeth. More teeth. That's the new more sins. And this is a recipe for the long dark. And let's see what they want me to do. I want to do all other kinds of things, so I have a really hard time staying with the recipe. But my mind is wandering off in all various places while reading and performing the cookbook recipes. Yeah, you cannot bind the knobs and sliders and so on to MIDI to send out, but you also cannot send back in. So the MIDI implementation of the MiniBrute is very limited, but this ongoing control freakish thing. Hello, Luke, by the way. I think I have to let some of that go. Not everything must be so precise and so spot on and controllable and recordable. I just have to get used to this. All what we do here is art, and it is only art as long as it is played live. Perhaps it can be recorded here and there on YouTube, but other than that, it's futile to have too much control or storage or whatever. Just pull out all the cables, hang them back in my future cable hanger majingy, because that's what I need. So anyways, we are going to... so I have the oscillator 2 tuned an octave above oscillator 1. Currently I have them at a triangle and square wave, but they want me to use a sine wave. Now a sine wave tuned lower, an octave or two lower than the main oscillator, is also nice, but that gives you like that really nice sub sound. Wait, what? Wow, the sine almost disappears inside. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. The cutoff, we'll do that halfway. We go into a negative frequency modulation here, changing of the frequency of the cutoff frequency. That's what I mean here. And that means that the sound will start closed, so the frequency will be cut off in the filter, and then if we hold the notes for a while, they will open up like a pad should do. Let's see if that works out. Right. Let's see what happens. Patch and Tweak is an expensive book. The cookbook is from Arturia. This came with the MiniBrute 2S. Wow, the release time is... Oh, that's not... Yeah. Ooh, that's a long release. I'm gonna set Epic. Hey! I don't like... I really should connect the push. Set it to a pentatonic scale. And then play on those, because these are not very fun to play. Let me set a... So preferably a pentatonic scale, which is not available in the choices we have here. I can set it to a minor mixolydian. So what it does, if you set it to a certain scale, if you press the wrong button, which there are none, it will just quantize it to the nearest node inside of the scale. I'm going to make this a bit more beautiful. I'm going to introduce a bit of resonance. This is not in the book, by the way, guys. This is me doing my own thing. Sorry about the volume increase. It's hard to keep the overall sound within the limits I want. Thank you for telling your dad about the nerds, you know. Why don't I hear it? I'm stuck here. Wow. Again, this is not in the cookbook, and it shouldn't be. What I'm doing now is looping the envelope instead of playing it once. So if I set a shorter attack and decay, there will be a fast on and off of this sound, which will drive you mad. It's quite something. You don't see me complain yet, do you? A quick sip of water before we go on in the recipe book. I think that Luke doesn't need a dentist anymore. His teeth will be jumping out by the sounds already. Okay, that was the long dark. And long and dark it was. We have a recipe for a drone here. Now I have to ask, is anyone here up for drone sounds at all? Or do we hate drones in general? And if so, why? Or is the drone the raison d'entrée for us all? Maltas, you love drones. Me too. The ones that fly too, but I'm not allowed to buy one yet. So I like this recipe already because it's the only drone that I'm allowed to use. Oh, good luck, man. Luke, be strong. Think of drones. You live drones. Bye-bye, my friend. Take care. I think Synchrotron likes a drone or two. Okay, I'm going to set the knobs to a value that they want me to set. Now, again, that's really hard for me because I want to change, but it's of course good. I don't know anything about this machine. I do know a bit about synthesis by now. That's the thing. So I made so many sounds inside of Falcon and Vital and a few other synths that I do know the terminology and I kind of understand how things play with each other. But once you start adding mod matrices like in these modulars or in software, you can get unexpected results. And I think that's fun of this. Okay, so we are going to play a saw wave, but the ultra saw amount. So this thing can make from a saw. Okay, I should probably take all the other things off, like for example the long reverb. Okay, that's better. Is my do I have less of a Dutch accent in my English now? Wow, there's things going on. So a saw wave can be turned into an ultra saw, but there's too much other stuff going on. This is not what I want. Exactly. So this, my resonance, but I don't want the... okay, now I want to control this. Okay, here we go. The oscillator 2 is also in use in this patch, but I don't hear anything, and that is because I have to patch something up. Yep. So, so we turned the ADSR for the filter. So this ADSR controls this combo. But we turned it all down, so this ADSR is not doing opening or closing anything anymore. And what we are going to do now is manually, with a cable, set the output of LFO1. Here is the LFO1. It has a rate and a shape with which you can change, you can send waves to an output and let that control something else inside of this machine or this or somewhere else. Okay? So the output of that LFO by default would go inside the ring modulation, which we are not going to use right now. Oh, the resonance modulation, I mean. We're not going to use that right now. But we are going to send it to the ADSR FM. So we are going to send it in the filter and control the amount of modulation of that frequency through this LFO. If we set this in the middle position, whatever comes in as voltage from the LFO into the FM does nothing because we don't allow it to change. But if we do this counterclockwise or clockwise, we will notice a difference in the sound. Is this all they want us to do? We hear nothing because we set everything. I mean, there can be nothing going on. Let's see what happens now. What am I doing wrong? What is my thinking? So we only get a clicky noise because the attack decay, everything is so low that it can only open and close right away. Oscillator 2, oscillators are open. What is going on that is not correct? The output of this goes into that. Should I... Let me see. Can I... It does something now. Ah. Okay, it's working. So I can now press a key. But it's no longer anything here anymore that dictates whether we hear something or not, because it's now all being controlled by an LFO. So we have this going and the LFO. The rate of the LFO, but also the shape of the LFO can now dictate the opening and closing of the filter, and that will make us hear something or nothing at all. This is helicopter territory. It's also a Pink Floyd. I think it was from the Wall. Indeed, Pink Floyd. The part that comes before the hit song "Brick in the Wall," another brick in the wall. Can go lower, like sub-territory almost. If you have good speakers or a headset, you will hear very low rumbling, which I promised in the description. Let me change the effects a bit. Helicopter in the wind. Spetterpoep. Nash. Oh. Oh, camera's giving up again. Moment. Okay, let me see if I can find some other effects, which I do not have in modular, which is fine. I have them in the DAW. Yeah, I think every half an hour or 50 minutes you have to put another euro in the slot and then the show continues. So it shuts off every time. Okay, can we agree that this is insane? By the way, courtesy mostly of Eventide's black hole effect. But this machine does give like the raw power to have those low frequencies and the resonance going on and the LFOs. So it's not like it doesn't do anything, but it really comes to life with a big effect. And that's also what the cookbook told us. Add some effect spice and delay ingredients and you will be all set. Beast-like sound, it is. Can I use it in a song setting? Probably not, but can I have fun? Oh yeah. Good. Everything still okay? A rich voiceover. Does lurking help? I don't know, I'll be lurking anyway. You can lurk whatever you want, as long as I don't. Okay. Snare drum. So, this is going to be interesting. We're going to be snare drumming with analog voice. Cool. The recipe tells me that we are going to make a dirty but catchy synthesized snare, a good example of the brute factor being used to glue the sound together and add some character. Adjust the AD decay time to your liking. So percussion sounds, the decay means how long does it take before it dies down again. So the decay is often important with percussive sounds. Instead of lurking, you can always also like. That helps even more. Thank you. So, LFO, we need almost nothing for this. The ultra saw goes down again. We are not playing with a saw at this moment. What we instead are going to use is noise, because percussion is much dependent on noise. The basic oscillator we'll use is the triangle. Look, this is deep. I don't even know if this is in YouTube territory anymore. Not sure if YouTube will pick up such low frequency. Don't think so. Okay, let's go a few octaves higher. Remove black hole. And everything is off now, including the delay. So this could be an Atari for all we know. Blip, 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 level up, game over, stuff like that. So besides the triangle wave, we're going to add noise. Welcome back, Andy. We are now making a snare wave, a snare sound, a synthesized snare, and I don't want to be in a particular. I just want to be chromatic. So. Okay, that's a good start. We have some cutoff, so we don't hear the really high frequencies. This is high. We make it a bit lower. Huh? The brute factor will be opened in a moment, and there is a decay. That's pretty high. You can make short hits. Now I'm going to run a sequence, which is probably not made for snares, but it's okay. Let's see if we have something else. So we're using just a sequence to play our snare. We can use the decay to let it die out slower. I'd rather remove the triangle. But the point of this example is that we're going to turn up the brute factor, the red button. The kids should not touch this button. I don't hear much of a difference on this sound, actually. Well, it does change. There's a glide in this sequence, which is not particularly useful for this use case. You probably don't want a tuned... why is it playing? Nothing is... Oh, I know. Crank the resonance up. Hey, nanoside, crank the resonance up. It's a short decay. What we heard in between the sequence was that C4 of my the clip that I use for tuning the oscillators. It was playing through this. That's not nice. Ooh. Okay, we do have a snare-like sound. And that's it. Yeah, I understand that the resonant makes percussion better, more snappy. That's it. A little more tonal content. So it works. Let's see if it goes fast. I think it does. I have an LFO controlling the resonance, so you will hear. That's fun. Next time I'll see a drummer, my son for example, I ask him if he can replicate this drum roll. Oh, and for those who'd like to know, that was a BPM of 682. Okay, that worked. Nice recipe. So using it as a drum oscillator is viable. And thanks for joining, Nano. I enjoyed that too. So the recipe is a sync lead. The classic, but always works. We have to adjust the FM, the Physio 1 FM. This is a different FM. This is the frequency modulation of this oscillator by the second oscillator. That's different than FM that's on this label because this is the modulation of the cutoff frequency. Okay, so that's the difference. Okay, this is going to be set to something like that. We're going to have a sine wave here. We are going to use a square wave. And a square wave can be changed by pulse width modulation. And that's by default controlled by the LFO. Okay, that's cool. So Physio 2, Physio 2, that's Dutch for Physio 2. And we tune it. We just tune it by hand to see what results we come up with. Okay, sine wave. And by setting this switch of the Physio 2 to range all, we can go from, like, this is a very rough adjustment from very low frequencies to very high. It was set to fine, where it's said on the box it will be a fine adjustment. Okay. It can also be set to LFO, so you can use this Physio 2, this oscillator, in low frequency ranges, and then you can use this actually as a third LFO in the machine, which is pretty cool. Anyways. Okay. I'll set the frequency modulation to 0 first. They want me to add a bit of glide. Okay, fine with that. So what happens is we play a square wave with this tuning. So makes the sequence sound very different. So we have this glide. Which is cool. We do a little pulse width modulation. And if you change the pulse width of a square wave, you get a change in timbre. Listen to this. But we're not going to do this by hand. No, we are going to use the LFO to do this for us. And we can change the speed. And now we're going to play with the actual frequency modulation of oscillator 1. So oscillator 1 is now, I'm going to do this a bit less loud, because myself I don't like the YouTube videos where people are explaining things, but the synths are so loud that's impossible to follow. By changing the frequency of oscillator 2 into the FM, we change the overall sound of oscillator 1. So the slider for the mixer for oscillator 2 is all the way down. You don't actually hear oscillator 2, but you hear oscillator 2 changing the sound of oscillator 1. Here we go. This is like arcadey. This super cool sound as well. Fat. Now Maltas, this is really electronic farting for you. and some farts with real wind. This sounds pretty techno. But wait, there's more. Because what I didn't do is actually make a synced lead sound. To do that, we are going to sync the oscillator output of oscillator 2 into the sync input of oscillator 1. And the output of LFO1 will go into the FM amount of oscillator 1. So I'm now turning this myself, but it will now be oscillated by an LFO. This LFO. Okay, let's see what it does. Listen carefully. Really. This is not in the cookbook. This might be usable for some song, maybe, perhaps. Webbit, wanna talk techno together? Collab? Enough is enough. This is pretty insane. A sync lead, not played as a sync, because this particular sequence has little to do with lead playing. You'll bring the drums? Cool. I think I scared everyone in the dentist waiting room by now. Mission accomplished. This thing sounds analog, and that's because it is. Now, that's really... what I just said is pure nonsense. I don't actually hear a difference between analog and digital. I do feel that the direct voltages have a very deep control or influence on the actual oscillator sound. But this could probably also be done in Falcon. But I think basically, and that's what I said to my wife when I bought Falcon 2 years ago, it can make pretty much every sound that I would like to make. But it's only controlled by a mouse and a keyboard. So you miss the control, and thus you miss out on many happy accidents, because in software, I just wouldn't dial in so many different options, and so the chance of mistakes is also slim. And it's in those mistakes that you can find beauty. Yeah, you will not hear, no. So digital emulations are just as good, says Synchrotron, and the analog synth is more of a lifestyle choice. Yeah, I think what draws me in is not just the puzzling with patching and so on, but being able to actually play an instrument a bit more instead of arranging it inside the DAW. Hands-on sound design. I love sound design. I'm not a live player, but I can do certain things, and I can make sequences beforehand. And chain them and let them play and change things while we go. Oh, sorry. So, yeah. And I'm fiddling here for 1.5 hours. And I mean, I did a few of the recipes. I get a bit of an understanding already. I slowly start using the patch points. I know nothing yet, and it's really fun. The next sound is Sonorum. It's a psychedelic and abstract soundscape. Mushrooms not needed, but mushrooms are, will make this sound better, I'm sure. This was a tribute to the early electronic music composers from the GRM. Okay, we'll see about that. So the LFO1, which was all the time in the recipes set to a triangle wave, meaning that the shape is up, down with like peaks. We will now go to random LFO. So not smooth. There's also a smooth random setting, but no. If we dial in LFO to change a parameter, it will be in a kind of unpredictable way. So you will hear jumps in things going on. And okay, good. The rate will be set to the highest possible. We are going to use the pulse width again. Pulse width modulation, and yes. So there's also an FM going on in a moment. We are going to set oscillator 2 to a saw wave, which means it goes up and then goes down immediately and then slowly goes up again. It's ramping up. cutoff resonance, we are now not using the filter as a low-pass filter, but as a band-pass filter, which means it will amplify or attenuate only a certain band of frequencies. Low-pass will cut out the high stuff. High-pass will cut out the low stuff. Notch is also an option, which will dip the frequency range or the attenuation of a frequency range, but the band pass will let through a certain amount in between low and high. Bad presentation on my end, but anyways, I mean well. So we use no sound of the oscillator 2, but we will use it again to change the FM amount or the FM frequency of oscillator 1. And there will be patching included. The patching will come from the LFO out. So this random LFO at a super high rate will go into the attenuator here. And then the output of the attenuator will go into the pitch of oscillator 2. So what this means is oscillator 2, the pitch of oscillator 2 controls the FM effect that you hear on oscillator 1. You can change this by hand, which we did in the previous patch. Video skull, but it's back, right? There are still characters unique to analog, like sending the sequencer BPM into the audio rate. I think there are things that sound really analog, but software modeling goes so far already. But since I use Falcon, I have been looking for hands-on control of parameters. I found the best service so far for me was the Novation Summit synthesizer, but I didn't particularly love the sound of it, so I returned it, and it's perhaps the biggest mistake I ever made. But anyways, it had like direct control during the sound design stage, and you could also map those to CCs. But that was a fantastic, solid keyboard synthesizer and with fantastic control knobs and so on. But this has that too. They cannot be mapped to something else, to over MIDI, but it can at least be mapped to what this machine does, and indirectly what others do. Because if I do certain things here, I can output most of the elements to a different synthesizer or to other modules that will one day fill up the gap. So yeah, there is at least more hands-on control. So what we have now, if I don't make the connection here, I put the this rate down, because by default the LFO goes into this pulse width modulation. I can, of course. Anyway, so we can do this and change the characteristic of the FM modulation on oscillator 1. But by letting this LFO run fast, it goes into an attenuator, which means we can dial it down a bit. It will still run fast, but with the amount of that goes into the pitch of this, so the amount that it will turn this knob internally for us, can be handled by attenuator 1. So that's quite a difference, doesn't it? I didn't expect this sound at all. I didn't know what to expect. But you see this LFO with all the random values, they will go, for example, I'm just mentioning it as an example, they will go between 0 and 5 volts or -10 to +10 or whatever. If you put that directly into the pitch of this oscillator, the jumps will be very big, which is what you hear if I turn this knob all the way open. There's a very large effect of this knob is like changing in very large sweeps in unpredicted ways, which has a very big effect. By using this patching to an attenuator, I'm just talking out of my ass, by the way, because I see this recipe for the first time, but I'm trying to understand it for myself by speaking out loud. I hope that works for you. And by attenuating, so by dimming this a bit, we make the jumps just as fast as they were, because we are not changing the rate of the LFO to a slower position. It will still be fast, but the amount of voltage that we are being varying becomes a little bit closer to each other. It's like using a compressor to get the peaks out and like make it more one sustainable sound. So if we use this in the lowest position, there is an effect, but it goes really wild once we start turning open the attenuator. The voltage fluctuations of this frequency will become bigger. If we make this more controlled, here you hear the same effect, but slowed down tremendously and without random values. Or with the sine wave, so if we make this random, so this is what's going on. This can be interesting in itself. Remember, I still have a reverb and a delay on the sound. Oh, and welcome, Citizen. Sorry, I didn't see. Welcome to the stream. This, actually at this tempo, it's more usable for my type of experiments. But by turning the rate up, we get a really wild life. This is more like a communication from space. the aliens have landed. They're talking to us in strange voices. Ooh. Now we're talking. So the whispering is the filter resonance. It can self-resonate. Let's add some noise, some wind from Mars. Okay, this is solid and insane. I wouldn't do this so easily with Falcon, I'm sure. I would never come to this idea. It's almost cinematic. For a strange movie, that's for sure. Useless and beautiful at the same time. Wow. Holy shit. Sorry about that. This is insane stuff. I should be recording this. That's way too much coming from one recipe. Quickly, disengage, disengage. This is not a test anymore. Okay, this is pretty crazy. And basically, this feels like an endless adventure, but it won't be. I know it won't be because I always find some limit somewhere and then I think I need to do something else again. It could be nice, perhaps, to quickly bring the taiga in as well. Let me see if it starts up. It does start up. It could be nice to have one little thing going on here and then have the taiga play a drone or something. So the cookbook will be closed for now. We are, the last one we did was this psychedelic and abstract soundscape. I don't recognize it as such, but this was pretty cool. Let's see if I can also bring the taiga in a bit. Even if it's for one oscillator that I will not control probably through MIDI, but just set myself and perhaps send some cable from the MiniBrute to the taiga to have something going. Just a second, I'll set it up. Okay, so I'm trying to add taiga's output to the mix. I will have to tune it first, so let me see if I can get any sound at all from the machine. There's an LFO going wild here. Okay, let me check. This is even more unprepared than the first part, so give me a small minute, go take a bio break or something, and I cannot show this on screen now, can I? Oh, I can probably do that as well. If I still have the possibility to show. Yeah, so this is the display I'm looking at right now. MiniBrute is here, and it has Valhalla, Supermassive, and Black Hole on it. And currently the sound is going through Black Hole. It's not much, but there's something going on. This sound reminds me, as low as it is, it reminds me of Do It Again by the Beach Boys. Anyways, that's very, very weird to think of that right now. Taiga. I'm gonna have to output a bit of MIDI to Taiga in hopes to get some audio back. Taiga. Let me see. I have to add another MIDI track. And that's this one. And I'll put this. So, okay, there's voice again. Somehow the microphone channel was turned into a MIDI channel and vice versa. That is weird. Okay, so the microphone is back. I don't think I had any processing on it. This can go away. This is, I don't know what's going on. Okay, my microphone is back. I'm so sorry about this stupidness. Also, I am on a bit lower latency than my previous stream. So I hope that this will help in more direct communication with you guys. And if it works really well, I will go to ultra low latency. And Andy, you did it as well last Saturday, I think. It worked splendid as far as I could tell. Sorry, by the way, that I had to go after a while, after an hour or so. So does this work? Including delay and reverb? I think it does. Okay, it is important that the submix where the this MIDI should have no input but must go to the Arturia MiniBrute. The second MIDI channel, also no inputs for now, but it must send its to the MIDI goes to complete audio 6, where my thing is, I believe. Does this work? Yeah. The MiniBrute, does that still output anything? No. Well, it kind of does, but I don't hear it anymore. So does this go to the submix? This Taiga has turned into a MIDI channel, which was not my plan. It must be an audio channel. Taiga, external input 1, must go to submix and always on. Hello? Hello? So Taiga, external 1. Oh. Okay, this is Taiga. Ooh. Taiga is coming in on 3. MiniBrute is coming in on 2, but do I hear it? I don't. Okay, there's MiniBrute. It's a weird sound, but it's okay. So I am sending this to Taiga. Okay, there is something happening. Now I want to tune Taiga. Close enough? You can hear a cat purring. That's good. My cat is very rhythmical. Okay, I think I tuned Taiga well enough. That's good. Stop these clips from playing. So I have microphone. This is audio. Let me rename these channels. This is Brute MIDI. And this is Taiga MIDI. I'm going to save this project for the next stream. Okay, cat purring. Microphone is, if all is correct, this is going to the submix, and then my microphone is sidechained into, but not anymore because I deleted the channel. Microphone is now sidechain compressing the other sounds. So if there is a sound coming from Taiga and from MiniBrute, they will be lowered in volume as I speak. So it is working again, and I have no idea why it wasn't before. That's really weird. Okay, so Taiga submix. It should work now. Okay, let's switch back to the camera if we still have camera view. So I think the stream is becoming too long now. 3 hours is okay if you can entertain yourself and others, but I think I fail right now. Anyway, so Taiga, if I just want to have a sound coming from it without using ADSRs and so on. So we should go much lower frequency. So C4 is not. I want to C, but not so high. So let me send notes to Taiga again and make sure that it starts. Taiga, much lower. Remove the LFO from it. Tuning it to C, just much lower. So that's good enough, I think. So Taiga, that's good enough. Okay, no ADSR. Just a note playing. Low, very low C. This is a sine wave, and I think to make it valid, a bit valid as a background thing, there should be a tremendous amount of reverb. And there goes the camera again. No problem. Okay. The camera is shaking a bit because I have to touch it to re-enable recording. So it will take a while to stabilize. There's some mod. Okay, this should be good enough for now. The sound is dying out now. And I don't know why. That should not be the case. So it's starting to fall apart now. I hope we had fun with some recipes from the cookbook. But I think I'm slowly letting the ball drop now. And that is not really helpful. Let me see if I can send something, anything, to Taiga to make it, have it make a sound. This is gone. I'm going to turn most of the MiniBrute back to basic stuff. Oh, it's still on bandpass. Should have the tag in lower. No, the reason I put it in the higher raw is because I want to hide the power bus. I don't want anything to accidentally get into there and damage something. And this is just an empty block of metal. So that's why I did this. Now we can have various things go from this. I am silly, but I'm also super careful about my gear. I am not, myself, I'm not scared by anything electrical and so on. I know how to handle a soldering machine and a soldering device and stuff like that a bit. And I'm not scared by any of it. I just don't want anyone to stick his hands in and make unwanted connections and whatnot. So I'm just careful about everything I own. So yeah, this seems the Taiga is basically a nice covering plate for the electronics. What do I? What shall I? I can send out, of course, a wave from an oscillator, like a sine wave. I could send out the sine wave itself to Taiga. I could also send out... Can I send out a pitch? I don't think I can, actually. Da-da-da-da-da. I can trigger output of the ADSR. I can use this ADSR to control that one, but I don't know what I want to do actually. And do I want to control anything at all on Taiga even? Do you hear the resonance? The rumble? I wouldn't mind changing the shape. But I have an LFO built in, so I can control the shape already. But I can also control the shape of this oscillator by an LFO here or something else. I can also... No, there's a clock input and a reset. There's not a note output from the sequencer, I guess. Or is there? There's not. What if I... Cool. What if I remove the supermassive? I first want to hear what the oscillator is doing. This LFO from the MiniBrute is now controlling the pitch of the Taiga oscillator in rather unpredictable ways. A heartbeat almost. close my tuning, which I just did. Why is there... It seems like 2 LFOs are controlling it now. It's better. So LFO 1 on Taiga is also... Oh, is controlling the shape. That's... Yeah, and I don't want that. I think... I want... VCO2, see if it can alter the shape. Wow, that's dark. Sounds like we're in a feedback loop. That's not good. Holy. My ears are trembling. My room seems to be trembling now. That output is way too fast. LFO. I turned VCO2 in an LFO. This is weird. I hope you don't mind. I know that I'm losing viewers fast now, which is completely understandable. There's nothing much interesting going on anymore, perhaps. Does it sound great? It's weird. The drone on its own is Pittsburgh modular Taiga with Valhalla Supermassive on it, but it's being modified by the VCO2 of MiniBrute and LFO2 of MiniBrute. And it sounds better without the MiniBrute now, because the notes being played on MiniBrute are totally not compatible, so to say, with... I can... Let me try something. Taiga must go lower in volume. Tune this a bit. That's not bad, actually. We started to get somewhere, citizen. I think we're getting to a point where Andy would be kind of proud of me. I'm in the very, very, very early stages of using semi-modular equipment. We got Taiga going, a tiny bit modulated by MiniBrute, which is not necessary because I have so many. Oh, you're here, Synchrotron. Welcome. I have so many sources of modulation inside of Taiga already, but. This is not the sound I want. Seems out of tune, but it's more due to my playing. So I could use the tracks. Yeah, there's pitch gate, but there's also velocity and pressure. So I could, indeed, thank you for the tip, citizen. I could create a sequence of velocity and pressure values, which are bound to mod 1 and mod 2, which are somewhere here on the outputs of the MiniBrute, and I could send those to change values on the Taiga. This goes deep, much deeper than I thought I wanted to go today. but it almost naturally takes me there. Thank you. Gosh, the sound. And I thought that this third part of the stream was a waste of time. And yet, we've only just begun. But Andy, you make it seem so easy all the time. I am starting to like this a lot. Is that weird? Oh, it is about the journey, but suddenly 2.5 hours in, I'm really starting to be pumped now. I'm not sure. Okay, I'm gonna try to send the keyboard MIDI out to the MIDI input of Taiga. Bit of a attack on the... Or do you mean on the AD envelope? to get the clicking away. It's almost like a fanfare trumpet. This is insane, man. Oh man, you cannot tell how happy I am now. You can't. You just can't. Okay, the edge of the start. Okay. I have to be extremely careful with that very extensive Valhalla reverb on the Tiger. I could cry. I'm serious. This is so beautiful. I'm gonna take a tiny bit of that Valhalla of Tiger. That's too much. Because it can go very... If I open the filter on Tiger, there's so much high that will almost put... Like, it's nice, but it washes for too long. Oh, wow. This is what Tiger's actually doing. And that's it, it's not good because this is doing nothing yet, but it's the this one. No. What? Is it still the after effect of... Is the patch point for the filter frequency of the MiniBrute out or in? There is an input. There is a filter. The default is the ADSR. But you can patch something into the frequency modulation, indeed. You would need 2 for... I don't know why the pitch is being changed so quickly. Oh, is that LFO2? Ah, the LFO2 was changing the pitch of the Tiger so fast. Okay, that makes sense. I don't want to break the envelope. I don't think I do. We can see. Wait. want to have pitch information from the sequencer incoming to here. I want to have one taiga oscillator react to incoming pitch information from MIDI through MIDI. I hope I do this correctly, and if not, well, we'll see what happens. Doesn't matter, it does it. Put a noise to the filter cutoff, see if you can be quiet. Filter module. I can put noise from one into the filter input of another. No. That's the thing with MiniBrute. If you patch something... Oh, let me restart the camera. If you patch something into something, the normal connection will not be broken. So that will happen if I get the ADSR out and leave the cable dangling. I think that's the way to break the connection. So we can control them probably by both. Hey, Cuddle, welcome back. Oh, okay, Andy, I will look at that. Thank you for giving me an idea and something to learn again. I wouldn't mind. Nobody's actually... You sampled the flute, that's awesome. For those who are still here, I understand that this is not going to be a wonderful show anymore. But on the other hand, I think we just had a few nice sounds going with the Taiga drone-ish, not really, and some nice sound on MiniBrute. I think actually that was a good part of the stream. Perhaps we'll find another one. I think that sequencer velocity might be fun to output to the shape. It does output something already. So I just have to, I want to erase, oh no, I can pick an empty slot in the sequencer. Should be empty. And I should be able to put something on the velocity channel. I think. I have not used this device before. So be patient with me, please. Also, this should either go very much filtered as a kind of backdrop, perhaps for now. Just to have something playing, but just as a filler. So I think I just recorded 4 velocity values. Now if let me see. I stop this. What happens? What gives? Is there indeed velocity going here? And can I change it? I can change it by turning it. Yeah, there's a velocity of 100 on this one. So if I... it changed the shape of the Taiga oscillator 1 sign. So this one... Wait, 5 does contain a value, am I right? Ah, wrong knob. Mm. 9. And 13. There are changes. There are velocity. You can change the type of fellow one track, press the fellow button and turn the back value knob. Okay. Oh, then I can turn it into something else than velocity. I can turn it into a pitch track or something. Velocity. Cannot just be CV. Oh, I can put it into voltages, envelope, sine, triangle, saw one, saw. I can make it pitch. So you can create a second sequence. I just want gate information, velocity. I just want, oh, there's 1 volt. I don't know. Should I put it on 5 volt or something? I don't hear it anymore. Oh, now I can set voltage here. Oh, that's nice. Oh, sweet. I can just dial in voltages? Are you kidding me? Not that it does anything on the shape here in Taiga, but it's nice that it can be done. So 5, 9, and 13 can be a certain voltage. It's all CV. So it's playing the CV or the voltage values, control voltage. I'm outputting it through this. But is that still the correct one? No. Clock one, yeah. The sequencer only outputs sync and run. It's still velocity, right? Fellow mod 1 that I should output. But Taiga does not react to it anymore. I think you need to have the steps active. Are they not on then? During recording... Oh. Oh, ha. Funny me. Yeah, it works. Thank you. Ah, right. All right. It changes the shape. Yeah, that works. Thanks. Okay, that's funny. You can make each step in LFO with its own frequency. The sequence of MiniBrute is very capable. Yeah, it is. It very much is. It's superb. I have to find out what the MiniBrute, the keyboard version, can do, sequencer-wise. Would be cool to be able to play a bit, but also control. I mean, would it make the same sound? That would be nasty. We don't want everything doubled up. Okay. Do I want to change the pitch during the sequence? Probably not for a drone, but does it have to be a drone? I can change a lot, by the way. I can frequency modulate. I can frequency modulate by using the second mod channel. Oh, and by the way, in Taiga, it's indeed the case when you put something into the input of a module, so to speak, it does break the normal connection. Not so in the MiniBrute, I think. So, can we have FM going on this one? If I engage every step. And stop. Can I now press? That can also be a control voltage. Damn, and 1 volt. So you can have a sine wave assigned to every step. Wow. Oh, this is insane. With a certain speed. Is this 20 hertz? No, it's not. Wait. Oh, I touched the wrong. Oh, right. Oh. Wow, man. So I don't need like so many steps. Can I set the length, the step length per lane of the sequencer? That's interesting to know. Step 2, will it now go? Yeah. It will go between those, but the velocity, will that still go? Oh my god. So you can have 4 sequences going. Well, a pitch and gate are always combined, I believe. But the velocity and pressure can be a different sequence and have their own length. So it doesn't have to all stay in the same rhythm. Hey, welcome back, Synchrotron. We're going deeper now. I actually would just want to use this pressure as a CV as well, but it can switch between these two now. There's nothing going on actually. And they are activated, am I right? Now they are. Yes. FM is... There's FM going on. It's hard to hear now. Oh, you have trees cut down. Wow, and you're still painting as well? This is FM, but the velocity sequencer is also still going with shape changes. Yes. So this is a 16-step sequencer, and the other one is 2 steps for FM. But it's way too fast, of course. So I make this a longer sequence. Can be 16 or 15. And I can... So how did I activate? Do I have to record and then... Okay. I'll just enable them all. But then it goes to 15 only, and then goes back to step 1, right? Yeah. So by changing the frequency modulation of oscillator 1 on Taiga, let me not influence the shape at the moment, but influence the FM only. Oh, the painting is finished. Oh, that's great. So this is the frequency modulation lane. And if I add the shape modulation lane, for so to speak, so we have variation in Taiga's shape and frequency modulation on oscillator 1. Yes. Frequency. And here is the frequency CV. Okay, this is weird. So we now have really, we are sending some information to Taiga's modular oscillator 1, but it's drowning in effects. But it could be just enough to get some movement. It's really subtle now because of the way too much reverb. It's nice, but it's, on the other hand, it's rather uninteresting, I think. Ooh, there's some crackles in, so. It's almost rain. And this should then be combined with oh, what? Oh, there's also pitch information for the brute itself. I don't want that. Actually, I think I want to... Can I disable them separately? I think. Yeah, probably. So now I should be able to play these by hand, while the sequencer is actually running to control some parameters on Taiga. That's the idea. It's different. It's not the same key anymore now. The drone is clearly in a different key, if at all. Some underground things going on. But that's not... It's totally unexpected. Yeah, Nanoside, I know you love your weirdness, huh? Yeah, you do. I learn a lot as well, because a lot of what happens now is quite unexpected for me. And the taiga is just droning along in a weird way. Really weird stuff. is stuff going on, but nobody knows what. Okay, as you can hear, I'm playing with the arpeggiator for a while. Oh, and the camera dies again. It's probably trying to warn me that I've been streaming for 3 hours in a quarter. Now, as you may have learned already, I'm not easily tired by streaming. So I can do this for a long time, but there's probably nobody who wants to see this. That's the problem. And still, even though I'm now in a stage where I don't follow a plan anymore with the recipes, I still enjoy publishing this live. You do, TPR. Welcome and thank you. Because if I make noise, I might as well put it out there for someone to hate or enjoy it. Yeah, I gotta go soon as well. I mean, it's starting to get closer to dinner time already. Taiga is providing basically a sound, well, and more a noisescape to fill up the frequency spectrum, but it doesn't really do much good anymore, I think. It was a good experiment. And of course, there's so much more to be done. But I don't have to do it all in one go. I'm just trying to... you gotta go buy a Taiga. No, please don't. Yeah, do. It's a fun machine. It is a fun machine. I do want to send some pitch information to an oscillator here in Taiga. The sequence is running, but we don't have a pitch going on. Oh, I do, because I have the ARP running. Let's remove the the pitch information. There is pitch going from Taiga's sequencer, even though I did not activate any of these things. And now it stops. I can activate them, can I? I can activate these pitch things. I dialed in a few of them. Okay, if I make the last step, the first one, turn off the arpeggiator. It's playing a C now, I think. It's not coming out of Taiga anymore, but that is probably... pitch information is coming from keyboard section. Why is that not... I would say... Oh, wait. No, it's set to MIDI. It expects a pitch. on the MIDI, I think. But it also perhaps needs a gate. No, that's an output. That's not an input. So the MIDI is not. This is not like a MIDI protocol, right? The keyboard is actually the pitch information. But then I need to set this. There we go. This should be a C now. I'm stupid. I was sending CV to a MIDI input on the Taiga. We now have Taiga and MiniBrute play in tandem, pitch-wise, on the second oscillator here. Sort of, in key, or in tune. That's fine. See what oscillator 1 does. It's playing totally unrelated stuff. I think I should remove the FM. Okay, let me set the last step to the first again. So it keeps playing that C that I... Yeah. This will go away. I will not change the FM anymore. I will only change shape. Change. Okay. So introduce some effect again. I think the Valhalla is a bit too much for Taiga for now. It's going through SparkVerb now, UVI SparkVerb, which is better for what I intend to do right now. So there's now pitch information coming from the sequencer. But besides that, there's also a drone running on Taiga. And its shape is controlled by the velocities sequence in here. Which has a few small changes in voltage, so that the oscillator will play a somewhat of a variation of the, what is it? Saw wave that it's playing. So I have two functions set on Taiga now, two oscillators playing. Of course, there's only one filter, which can be fixed. Well, not in Taiga itself. There's one filter, so it's a paraphonic system. There are multiple oscillators that can be controlled separately, but they go to the same filter module. But I can grab the output of the melodic VCO and put that into the MiniBrute as an external input. So I can take the sine wave output or just the output and put it into external. Or can I take... Yeah, but that doesn't remove it from the mix. I can still then remove it from the mix here. It should be audible. That's not exactly what I want. I could take the sine wave from oscillator. No, out. Yeah? What happens if I do that? So they now both play. Oscillator 2 of Taiga is playing the melody. But it's also now sent as a sine wave into the external input of the MiniBrute. Which can also now go through the filter of MiniBrute. And the brute factor. It's getting crazier by the moment. That's no good. Oscillator 2 is doing something don't need right now. What if I turn off the output of Taiga? I still get... This is the sine wave output of Taiga being input as in the oscillator mixer of MiniBrute. So the sine wave of the Taiga has become part of the shape of this oscillator. Pretty crazy if you think of it. Why? I would rather have just the output of the oscillator, which now works. This is the actual output of Taiga's, including the changes in shape, I believe. Not so much, perhaps. Oh, well, yeah, it is. Taiga is now turned off. So you hear only the output of the oscillator into MiniBrute and then out to the DAW. turn on Taiga again. I removed the oscillator, the melody oscillator from the mix on Taiga, but we still hear it come in here. Okay, MiniBrute is now silent. Where was I? Okay. Combine the two. Tune second oscillator. This is nice too. It all leads to nothing more than tones to play with. And that's what I was going for today, right? So this concludes my stream of today. I've been live for 3.5 hours. A lot of that was, just fiddling about too much. I'm sorry about that. Takes a while before Supermassive combined with Black Hole die out. And of course Taiga's drone keeps playing. I could, of course, the possibilities start to stack. I can use that pressure channel on MiniBrute. If it must play. I could use it to change the resonance on Taiga. So, yes, resonance. There's a sample and hold on Taiga, which I haven't used yet, by the way. Frequency. Resonance. Ah, there we go. There's something happening now. And that's what is on this channel. Okay. I have values of modulation voltages, which are now being sent into the resonance on Taiga, if I'm correct. I wonder if it really does something. Would be nice to hear. Okay, I'll switch off the... Still love, yeah. Look, I hope you're okay. I hope they didn't hurt you too much. Love is not the correct word. I'm turning off Supermassive. And now you can actually hear... Look, it's fantastic. The sequencer on MiniBrute can not only control MiniBrute, but can also send out control voltages or LFOs or envelopes to Taiga. So I've got them working together now. So I have a sequence running with 16 different voltages going in. You can't feel your face. Oh, that's not even the worst part then. I'm sorry for you, mate. Really am. This is what is going on the drone part. It's hardly a drone. No hot drinks and no hot drinks. It's amazing. This is amazing. It is. Okay. This is just a bunch of noise, okay? We can agree on that. So that is the drone-ish part. Oh, and the shape of the saw is being modified by a velocity sequence, which is also here. Yeah, it's insane. Okay, anyways. Then we have a melody part. Very cheesy. And some frequencies will even hurt you through... in the teeth that are still left. Okay, so that's the Taiga, which then drowns in reverb in a moment. Or, well, not drowning, but... No, you shouldn't watch the whole thing. I did some recipes in the first 2 hours of the stream. Then there was a mess, suddenly. But I think around the 2.5 hour mark or something, or whatever, perhaps I can bookmark it later. Something really cool happened the sounds came together well. So this is Taiga, but then we add oh, sorry about that. So the beautiful thing is that the melody plays on oscillator 2 of Taiga, which now has some modulation on the resonance coming from the sequencer of MiniBrute. But that same melody is being output, the oscillator 2 is being output to the external input of MiniBrute, which is then added as part of the oscillator mix on MiniBrute, on oscillator 1. And then add oscillator 2. This will go through a filter as well, which has some resonance controlled by the LFO. At least that was the plan. Tiny bit. And then this thing goes through the amp with a brute factor, which is basically audio feeding back into the oscillator to create a feedback loop of noise, so to speak. No, this is not Vangelis. Well, this sounds like Vangelis in his training years. It sounds like a mess, to be honest. But it is a sequence I created myself with pitch information and velocity turned into voltage and pressure turned into a voltage track as well, which is pretty darn beautiful. And the pitch information is stored in here, so I you can change the pitch. I can work in a minor. Nice. The delay on the filter sweeps, or on the resonance peaks, so to speak. Let me save this actually, so I can fiddle with it someday, which I probably won't. Oh, the camera, everything has moved. You will see some mess here. That's actual studio space. So this external is actually the output of oscillator 2 of Taiga, fed back into the mixer here to go to another filter. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. It's insane. I really should stop now. My wife just came home again. And we're gonna see if we can have some dinner. This could go on for ages, and that's not... Well, it's great, but... Let's step out for a minute. I don't think anyone could listen to this for all those hours. Even I have a hard time with it now. But anyway, sorry about the weird camera stuff. I think it quits every 29 minutes, which is what the DSLR does by default. Enough is enough. Thank you very much for watching, for keeping up with the noise. I can see how this is time sync, and I touched a bit more than just the surface, I think. There's still pitch information going from the sequencer. Yeah, the sequencer. It's nice to have different color cables, by the way. That's already something I noticed. Yeah, the sequencer is still sending pitch information to oscillator 2 here. Weird stuff. Thanks a lot. I have to thank Andy and Nanosite, Luke, Citizen, TPR, thank you very much for joining. And Karel was here. Maltas was here for a moment. And Crazy Webbit, thank you for stopping by. And I hope I forget. Oh yeah, Dr. Cynthia was here, but had other business to attend to. Crazy Webbit I mentioned already. Awesome. Thank you very much, guys. 3 hours and 50 minutes. And the madness just continues. This is... okay. This is where we leave. Thank you very much. Don't ask me where that sound's coming from. I don't even know where those low notes come from. It's a secret. It's magic. This was Magic Mike. Richard, Raider Rich, you won't need a cookbook for much longer. Hey, I still have a lot to go through, and it forces you to learn about the possible connections, but I think I learn quite fast. But wow, man, the drone stuff and so on just keeps on giving. Have a great rest of the day, guys. For me, it's dinner time. A good night's sleep will be handy. I hope for you there's still lots to explore today. Thanks a lot. I'm Richard. This was Raider Rich cooking with Arturia. Bye bye.